everybody, and welcome to the Introduction to Symbolic Logic. My name is Helen Mesquita, and I'll be your instructor for the course. You can call me Helen or Professor Helen. I use she, her pronouns. The goal of this course is to provide you the formal tools for evaluating arguments and to give you practice using these tools and understanding their utility. So we're going to spend most of our time working in the symbolic system, but we're also going to spend some time learning how to translate our English sentences or natural language sentences into symbolic logic. The majority of our time, as I mentioned, is going to be spent in the system. So we're going to be learning the rules for manipulating sentences in our formal system to see what they might entail. By the end of this course, you're going to be able to employ the language of symbolic logic, and you're going to be able to understand its limitations. In this video, I'm going to be talking through the syllabus. I wanted to record it asynchronously for two reasons. First, if you can't make it or you late enroll in the class, if you can't make it to the first day or you enroll late in the class, you'll still be able to access the content of me talking through the syllabus. And then second, if you at any point want to refer back to what I said about various assignments, you'll be able to do that by watching the video again. Okay, so let's talk through it. So as you know, our class is going to be meeting 3 to 3:50, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Social Science Hall 100. My office hours are Monday, Wednesday, 4 to 5. They're currently scheduled for my office, but I may switch that to a larger room if there's some availability. Your TAs are Neil Crawford, who will be doing the Monday discussion sections, and Aidan Carter, who will be running the Wednesday discussion sections. And your required text is this Shom's Outline of Theory and Problems of Logic. I would treat it more as a reference book or a workbook and do the exercises in it if you like, than like a textbook to be reading ahead of every class. Okay, and then we also have a course Discord. It's the official course Discord, which means that I'm on there. So just keep that in mind as you send messages. If you don't already know, it's a platform where you can voice or text chat with others. And on it, you're free to ask logistical questions, content questions, or set up chat rooms with your peers to work through examples or something like that. I'll be monitoring it regularly, but all course official communication will be coming through Canvas. So if you prefer not to use Discord, you definitely don't have to. If you have grade-related questions, I would prefer that you email me or a TA as opposed to doing it on Discord because you're anonymous on Discord. But if you do want to do it there, I just ask that you also include your name with the message. I'm going to talk about the kind of structure of this course in terms of how each session will be running, and then also what the assignment structure looks like. So for the sessions, they're designed to be really active and student-centered. So you should expect when you come into each lecture day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that you'll be actively engaged. This is because I see your logical analysis skills as akin to like skills in a foreign language or even a computer language. You really need a lot of reflective, deliberate practice in order to refine them. And so we're going to be doing that in the course itself. So I recommend you think of your time in the course and in discussion sections as time to practice your skills, and our course structure is really meant to facilitate this. The active lectures will be happening Monday, Wednesday, and on Fridays we'll have what I'll be calling logic labs. So these are going to be time to work through problems or deal with harder questions or kinds of prompts, and they're also going to be structured around like the upcoming homeworks or problem sets, and we'll be working in groups for those. Also, to help give you a lot of opportunities for practice, we'll be using a website called carnap.io. This is meant to be a proof checking software, but for the first part of class, we'll just be using it for multiple choice questions and constructing truth tables, etc. But later on, you'll see how it will be really helpful for proofs as well. The idea here is like just to give you a lot of practice exercises and also immediate feedback on your work. And that's part of how I see refining your skills in this area. We'll be paying special attention to your development throughout the course, which means that a lot of assignments will come with reflections as well, and you'll see that in when I talk about the assignment structure. But these reflections are meant to be really part of the main content of the course because we're thinking of and keeping track of our development as a logician as part of the course. I think that this is also a skill that we'll be able to translate more broadly. So in addition to the logic skills, you're also developing your skills in reflection. And so I hope that as we go along, your reflections are also getting nicer and better. The main content of this course, there's 4 main modules, and I'll talk through them by mentioning how they relate to the learning goals. So the first module is going to be related to sentential logic, and we're going to be looking at semantic validity and using truth tables. Now, this, what I'm talking about now may not make sense to you, and that's totally fine and to be expected. As we go along, you'll better understand what these modules are. The second module is going to be the same, we're going to be using sentential logic still, but we're going to be doing deductive validity and learning how to do proofs in a Fitch-style natural deduction system. The third module is going to move to quantified logic instead of sentential logic, and we're going to look at using models in quantified logic. And then finally, we're going to do the deductive validity with the Fitch-style system with quantified logic. Throughout, we're going to be reflecting on and appreciating your development as a logician and as an active reflective learner, and also the first two, so articulating the strengths and limits of formal systems and understanding how formal systems can shape and develop our beliefs. Okay, so that's the 4 main modules. And then at the end, what we'll have is a choice where you'll pick 2 supplemental modules to further explore. So there'll be extensions to or elaborations on the main course content, and you'll pick 2 of some selection of them and complete those. That is partly designed to be instead of a final exam. So as you'll note in the assignment structure, there are no exams and there is no final exam. Assignment structure. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll be introducing new concepts and ideas, and you'll have some opportunities to practice in class. Fridays, we're going to treat as a logic lab where we work through problems, harder problems or problems related to the upcoming assignments in partners or with small groups. Each week, you'll also have a set of practice problems for the material that's been introduced. So there will be 8 total because the last 2 weeks will be those supplemental modules. They're due weekly, they're graded for completion, and the lowest 2 are dropped. All of the practice problems will be through Carnap. There'll also be a short reflection about the practice problems that will be due through Canvas. So each week on Wednesdays, you'll have this assignment due at midnight. At the end of each module, and there's 4 of them, you'll have a problem set due. These will be due Fridays at midnight, and they'll be posted on Canvas, and they'll be where you either have to print it and then scan it, or you can just complete it electronically and then send it in as a PDF on Canvas. Then at the end of the course, there'll be a reflection about the utility of logic and your perceptions, and then I'll ask that you choose 2 of those 4 shorter modules that are extensions of the course content to complete. At the beginning and end of the course, we'll also be completing a small survey to track your reflections about your own formal abilities. I mentioned this in the course setup, so if you could please follow the link to complete that survey. You'll also, at the end of the survey, it'll give you a code, and you'll need to remember that code and use it at the end of the course for the final survey. So please write it down somewhere that you'll be able to access it at the end of the quarter. Okay, so the grade breakdown for all of these assignments is that the problem sets are 10% each, totaling 40%. Weekly assignments, there's 8 of them, but 2 of them are dropped. So they're 5% each and they total 30%. 80% of that grade comes from the completion on Carnap, and then 20% comes from the reflection that you'll submit on Canvas. 10% of your grade will come from the logic reflection you do at the end of the quarter, and 20% will come 10% each from the 2 modules. There is a 24-hour grace period on all weekly assignments, as well as the problem sets. So the weekly assignments are due Wednesdays at midnight, so as long as you submit it by Thursday at midnight, it's totally fine. And the problem sets are due Fridays at midnight. As long as you submit that by Saturday at midnight, it's also totally fine. You don't have to email us to ask. You can just submit them whenever you like within that 24-hour grace period. Note, here that this means that there are sometimes some weeks where you'll have practice problems due on Wednesday and then a problem set due on Friday. I hope that there's enough flexibility in the course itself, with 2 of the practice problems being dropped and also them being graded for completion, that this isn't too much work per week when you have these double assignment weeks. If it ends up being too much, you can obviously please let me know, but I hope that there's enough flexibility to accommodate for that. Okay, so a few last things. My office hours, as I mentioned, will be right after class Monday, Wednesdays. You can come to my office hours or your TA office hours for course-related content. So if you want any help understanding a concept, if you want to clarify any aspects of an assignment, or talk to me or your TA about a grade you received. But you can also come to them for career ideas, paths to grad school, or any philosophy courses being offered, those kinds of things. So if you would like to chat about that, also feel free to drop by. And then the course policies are listed at the bottom. Please be sure to contact the DSC if you need to make any necessary accommodations, or if there's any accommodations I can help you with that isn't covered by the DSC, you can feel free to let me know that as well. Okay, so I am really looking forward to this quarter with you all. I know that you all can really succeed in this course, and I think it'll be really enjoyable for us all. I'll see you on Monday.